Etcetera with the Woodards. I'm your host for this evening, Craig Woodard Sr., and welcome to episode 71. We have a great show coming up for you. I first wanted to start talking about, of course, the Down Syndrome Association of Tampa Bay. You guys know I am the executive director and the president of DSATB, is what we call it, the Down Syndrome Association of Tampa Bay, and we have two big events coming up this Saturday, coming up on World Down Syndrome Day, which is March 21st at noon. We are kicking off one of our largest fundraisers. It is called Down to Bowl 5. This is the fifth time that we are hosting this particular event. It's a bowling event. My vice president, Drew Garabo, is the one that is in charge. He works at 102.5 The Bone, and he is a radio host for Drew Garabo Live, and he is putting on Down to Bowl 5. It was a sellout for 4 years. We only have 10 lanes left to sell, and we're excited to try to get those sold in this final week. Usually sales and donations kick up within the last week, so it's going to be really exciting to see that happen this week. But it is from noon until 3 o'clock at Pit Chasers on Veterans and Hillsborough. So just keep in mind, we have switched locations this year. Last year, it was at, all 4 years, it was at Pin Chasers Midtown. We have switched it to Pin Chasers on Hillsborough and the Veterans. So make sure that you sign on. You can go and register. You can go to our website at www.dsatb.org. Click on upcoming events, look for Down the Bowl, and you can register right there. Ticket sales are $100 per person, $200 for two people, and $400 for a foursome. If you would like sponsorship opportunities, we do have lane sponsorship for $1,000. You can hit me up and I'll tell you exactly who you need to speak to. It's Chris Dixon for 102.5. He will take care of you and give you all the particulars that comes in the sponsorship package. Now, that wraps up at 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we are going to be going across town into Riverview, where we're going to be at the Regent, and we're having a World Down Syndrome Day celebration. Our organization, DSATB, along with Gigi's Playhouse Tampa and friends, are all collaborating as a partnership, and we're throwing a huge celebration. It's a casual event. Wear your blue and yellow. Rock your crazy socks as well, your colorful socks. Those colors emulate the colors of chromosomes. So make sure you're very colorful that day. Those that are going to be in attendance, it will be from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. You have to register and get a ticket. There are only 37 tickets left, and it might be less than that. I checked that actually this morning. So we are having 250 people there, so we got a big crowd already, 217 if my math is correct. So that will be at the Regent this Saturday coming up from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So Down the Bowl, noon to 3 p.m., and then from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., we have our World Down Syndrome Day celebration. So it's going to be fantastic. Okay, I am bringing in, want to shout out to Jason Miner. What's up, Jay? Thank you for watching. Denise Bacano as well, and Tanya Polk Payne from down here. She is watching as well. Appreciate everyone tuning in, and I know you guys tuned in for these two gentlemen that I am going to slide in so ever cool right here. We got Jerry Roberts and also my twin cousin, Terry Roberts, both of them from Erie, joining me on the podcast, Etcetera with the Woodards. Cousins, thank you for joining me today.
It's a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's great. You know, one of the main reasons why we are on tonight is we want to talk about something that's near and dear to our heart. You know, we were a part of the Justice for Cello Coalition. A bunch of us kind of just, as we coin it, jumped off the porch to make a difference when our cousin Marcello Woodard lost his life. And we wanted to exert some change, fight for justice, and do some positive things for the Erie community. You know, things got very intense, but we did get an arrest made of Kevin Salinger, who is locked up until trial right now. And there were a number of different groups that kind of formulated on social media. And out of respect to the family, they had requested that no one have a group that was named associated with Marcello Woodard. So we attempted to disassociate with Justice for Cello Coalition, and then we had a mistake that happened. Terry, you want to talk about that? You want to take that one, and we can kind of discuss and because that's what brought us three here where we're at right now.
Yeah, we had a mistake happen where we was trying to start something else, and there was a statement put out on Facebook and whatever other social media, and the request was that we remove Marcello's name. Certain individual put the statement out, but still put at the bottom of it, Justice for Cello. So before that even happened, I even told the individual, go on the Justice for Cello page and let everyone know we are transitioning to another name on this date.
Right.
So, they'll have some type of, they'll have aware that we're switching over. Nothing's
Right.
changed about what we're doing. We're just switching over the name.
And let me
That
cut
was
in
never
real quick
done.
too. With that, we formed the Keystone Change Alliance, and we were
Exactly.
going to take this thing statewide, like we are right now.
Right.
To advocate, and we were going to be totally separate, but including Marcello Woodard's case, but his name was still attached to it, and that's what set things off. Am I right?
Right. That's right. That's exactly right. And it was an easy fix, but a certain individual didn't want to do that, which we try to stay away from confusion, and make things easier so people can communicate with us and that we're approachable. And, when we asked to switch the name, this individual refused. We apologized about that, and we asked this individual to apologize. The individual would not apologize,
Publicly.
and it left a little bitterness because out of the organization, us three are related to Marcello.
Right.
All right, and then when you do things behind the back to try to make family go against each other, that
Yeah.
doesn't work. I don't know if the individual thought we were weak as family that we go behind each other's back, but I believe you had got a call or something like, let's vote the twins out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know that
A I got a text message that
yeah,
basically said that two other individuals in our group had already voted. I was not given the results of the vote, and the statement was um, that the option was to vote both you and Jerry out of the group. And
right,
so I'm looking at this and I'm reading this and I'm like, you seriously are trying to put me against my family like this, and I'm kind of dumbfounded. But Jerry, we caught a lie here. Um, the statement was Facebook won't let me change the name for 60 days of the group. And then we were told I did not want to change the name and remove Justice for Cello Coalition because I wanted people to know who we were. So part of what we stand for is transparency. We're asking for transparency from the state. We're asking for transparency from the DA's office. We're asking for transparency from law enforcement. How can we not be transparent with each other, right? So when you caught on to that, what did that mean to you?
Um, it brought a lot of frustration and anger because I don't know if people watch social media, but I was catching a lot of flack for it as if I was the one behind it, as if I'm the one that runs that page. Let's get this straight right now. I usually don't do this. I don't do the messy, but let's get this straight. Nobody has accepted money in the name of Marcello Woodard. Nobody has formed any organizations in the name of Marcello Woodard. We are not a LLC. We are not a nonprofit. I don't see what the problem is when you have different groups or different entities fighting for the same cause. But the
Right.
problem in Erie is what I call the Erie disease. And that's where everybody wants to be the chief or say, I did this, I did that. And they're not doing it just for the right cause or the right purpose. They're doing it for clout. We've been accused for doing stuff for clout, but yet we were the ones doing this from day one. I was there at the murder scene probably within a half an hour after he was murdered. Then I get a call from Malcolm Pulliam, very dear friend of mine. And he called me, Sarah Bridget called me, and we jumped off the porch and we decided, let's just go on 21st and Parade. We didn't know it was going to turn out that big. We didn't know we was going to continue this fight and be able to touch national people that we have reached out to and who have reached out to us. We didn't know any of that. But then when certain people or certain one individual in this city didn't get recognition, this individual wanted to make things ugly and cause a division. Erie, PA, I'm telling you right out of my mouth, I'm not for the mess. Stay away from me with the mess. And as far as us starting this, I'm your voice. Yes, I caught flack when we were going to be Keystone Change Alliance. And
Yeah.
it was all because all it took was for one individual to make a statement and apologize. I spoke with Malachi Woodard, my cousin, Marcello's son. We had a long conversation because I asked him about the post that he made regarding that the KCA page.
Right.
And it just the more he talked to me and the more I saw that all this stuff was getting blamed on me, it's a such thing as keeping receipts.
Yeah.
So I told him, should I get blamed again for something that I don't do? I will present the receipts. I've already presented him with some of the receipts to show that I was not behind leaving Marcello's name on that KCA page because I'm tired of catching flack from anything that I don't do. So
Right.
let's get that right, Erie, PA. I'm here for one thing, and that's to bring justice to this situation. Like we always said, this go for everybody. Keep the main thing, and
That's right.
stop playing around out here. Stop
That's right.
trying to clout chase out here. Because I know who you is. It's certain people out there co-signing on certain posts. I'll be seeing you. I'll be talking to you man to man. Playtime is over.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. Playtime is over.
Yeah, we've been accused of a number of different things, and last week with brother Victor Muhammad, who was so gracious to join us, and I shared um, the attorney letter that we received, and of course our little cousin Malachi is the one that had his attorney send it, and I know it's more on the civil side of things, which is cool. We have nothing to do with the civil suit at all. We were fighting for justice for the whole thing, but on the criminal side of things because we want justice served as far as time in prison, right? But we went over the attorney letter. I read that whole thing, and it's really not it's not a bad thing. I know he's trying to protect his father's name, and I totally understand that. And so, for the record, now as far as what I've seen, I don't see any groups on Facebook page that are associated with Marcello Woodard's name anymore. And that individual that you were speaking about, I believe, removed his page as well because he, in fact, got one of those letters as well after aligning himself with that side of the family. Now, of course, when we go on, we're speaking on behalf of our cousin Sonny, Charles Woodard, which is Cello's father, and he has given us the green light to speak on his behalf through the media, whatever it is that we need to talk about. And he's very gracious for the fight that we have put up. But to sit back, man, after all of this effort, and you see division being caused by others because they're clout chasing, it makes you feel some type of way. And the other thing that kind of got me is we didn't get these attorney letters until after Kevin Seelinger was arrested. So we
Right.
have been hooping and hollering for 169 days. This dude gets arrested on December 19th. Preliminary hearing comes. We are in attendance at the preliminary hearing. Charges bound over for trial. And then we get this letter like, hey, thanks, appreciate it. We got it from here. That's how I kind of took it. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all got the statement of the year. Can't stop, won't stop. And none of us have decided to stop fighting for justice for our cousin. No one can stop us from doing that. When the letter came after the fact, after the arrest, what went through y'all minds? Terry, let's start with you.
Well, as I told y'all before, I know the law. I got a degree in criminal justice. The letter didn't put no fear in me at all. And I told y'all not to be worried about anything because a lawyer can't tell you what to say about anybody on social media, first off. You ain't gonna get no lawsuit put on you, none of that. So that letter didn't put no fear in me. What it did do to me was if I keep being bothered about it, I'll show you the law and a harassment will come out of it. So that's what it made me do. It made me to where I was about to dig in my bag with this law thing, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
But as far as that letter, it was a tactic that didn't work. Because
yeah,
we sit here and we talk about people, celebrities who get in trouble. It's all on social media. No
yeah,
lawyers sending, no lawyers are sending out anything to nobody about saying their name on any social media. I can
right.
say Marcello's name as much as I want. I can say Justice Marcello as much as I want. Can't
Right.
nobody do anything. The law can't do anything. And if they keep bothering me, then I'll turn the law on them.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it because the letter was unnecessary. I love
Yeah.
my people, but what makes me mad is, like my brother said, we've been out here on these streets from day one when it took place.
Yeah.
It's people from out of town running their mouth, but ain't been up here in no protests, didn't come to no court hearings, ain't seen at no court hearings, but they worried about us saying certain things. No,
Yeah.
get up here.
Yeah.
Get up here. Get with us. Don't sit there and talk about us from afar.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. Jerry, your thoughts, man, when that
Um,
came to.
I want to get this straight first. If anybody thinks that we got a problem with Malachi, our little cousin Malachi Woodard, that's false.
Yeah.
Right,
When there's a
right.
misunderstanding, Malachi reaches out to us, to me, or I'll
Yeah.
reach out to him, and we talk. We have a great conversation, a civil conversation. And when I provided him the information to clear my name of the lie, he thanked me for it.
Yeah.
He said, "Thank you for telling me the truth." So, what people have to understand is Malachi, Major, and their
Got
sister, they're
it.
all grieving,
Hmm.
and
Yep,
people grieve in a different manner, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
He has the right to fear that people are accepting money or forming organizations off
yep,
of his father's name.
Yeah.
He has every right to feel that way.
Hmm.
But it's the problem I have is when people try to feed him poison lies
Yeah.
to take attention off them, or they don't know what they're talking about because they're outside of our group looking in. No, it don't work that way.
Right.
Unless you are not keeping the main thing, stay away from me.
Yeah.
Stay away from me because right now my focus is getting justice for Cello. My other focus is like Dante talks about bag talk. If you ain't
Yeah.
about trying to get a dollar the legal way, trying to open up businesses, bring about awareness for our people, help our people grow and bring ourselves together and unite to be
Yeah.
as one, we could be a black empire.
Yeah.
But we got to
Yeah.
stop thinking and having that slave mentality. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm in it for. That's
Yeah.
why I'm glad you started I'm Your Voice. We got it's a different name, but it's all the same cause. Terry said the people out of town, they can get up here. Nobody has to fight this cause with us. Just
Yeah.
let's fight side by side. Let's be
right.
Exactly.
together on this. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say I'm going to go and fight with y'all. I'm not going to say y'all come fight with us. Let's fight side by side.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
usually it's a mix up. If I know you got my back and we side by side, we all looking in the same direction, we can accomplish the same goal.
Yeah. First of all, let me just tell you both. Y'all know how much I love you guys.
That's right.
I've always said I've always said through our lives I was the third triplet. I'm just vertically challenged, you know what I'm saying? But that's we like brothers, man. We grew up
Yeah.
together, man.
Yep.
We love each other. And when I saw how I was being pitted against you two, that did something to my soul, man. And I'm just like, there's no way that this is gonna happen. And I know, Terry, you had, some health issues, and you're like, look, man, this back and forth is kind of getting to me. And I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
fellas, let's do this. How about it's us three? Now, I want to also say this too. Malcolm would be with us, but Malcolm is getting ready to do something big for Erie, and y'all have to
Major.
stay tuned. All right,
Major.
we got his back 100%. We got his
That's
back
right.
100%.
That's right.
That's why he's not with us, right? So stay tuned for Malcolm Pulliam, y'all. He's
Big
gonna
shout
go
out to Malcolm Pulliam. He's the one
Absolutely.
that got this started. We jumped off the porch with him.
Yeah,
And let
man.
me say this.
Yeah,
Malcolm was on this before the death of our cousin.
yeah.
So I don't want nobody
Yeah.
saying, oh, y'all using this to make gains to do this.
He's
Malcolm's
been like
always
this since
been
high
on this.
school.
Yes.
Yeah. He's been a big activist for quite some time. If you know Malcolm, you know that to be him. You know what I mean? So
Malcolm
shout out
named
to
for
Malcolm.
a reason.
Absolutely. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I got a text saying to vote Terry and Jerry out. Like, you want me to vote my twin cousins out? Are you serious? So I started thinking, I'm like, you know what? Hold on a second. We have the power in the numbers because Malcolm had already left the group, right? And then a couple others had already left the group. So there was only 5 of us at that time. So when it comes down to 3-2, all right, we can vote somebody else out. So we voted and we took control, and then we decided to do the right thing the way it should have been, and we all came up with this group.
That's right.
Collectively, we feed off of each other. I don't care what time it is at night. We're always feeding off of each other, man. And we came up with "I'm Your Voice." We came up with the logo, and the acronym of it came to me in the middle of the night. So I want y'all to know. I want y'all right now. You gotta leave our live, shot right now, the podcast, to go to "I'm Your Voice." But go there and click join, and then come back and then watch us. But watch us. "I'm Your Voice" stands for "I'll make you our unified responsibility." Voice, vocal, opinionated. We are, right? We're vocal as well. Integrity. We stand on that. We stand on business on that, right? Change, because change is coming, and we're out to exert change and excellence. That's what we're going to bring to you guys every day. That is the fabric of our group. "I'm Your Voice," and that is an epitome, the description of all 3 of us. And I'm telling you, we have worked together since the beginning, and of course, we're family. We've gone way back, but we've never had arguments. We are able to respect other people's decisions. We are able to listen, and we are able to come to a unified agreement.
Right.
With you two in Erie, I got the platform. I got the media contacts. Everybody knows y'all. Everybody knows me. Why can't we do this? And that's what we did. We put this thing together, man. And "I'm Your Voice." I'm proud to say we got 476 in less than a week. All
I see Malk's screen
us
froze.
agreeing on it, right?
Your,
"I'm Your
your
Voice."
screen that froze for a minute there, family.
Mine did? Okay. Did y'all? Do I need to repeat anything, or I can keep rolling?
Yes, please, please.
Please do.
Okay, so what I was saying was, this particular title, this logo came to me at like 4 a.m, and I ran it past Jerry and Terry, and they loved it. "I'm Your Voice," right? "I'm Your Voice" stands for "I'll make you our unified responsibility." Voice, vocal, opinionated. Yeah, we're opinionated. We're going to give you our opinion.
Right.
Integrity. That's what we stand on. And we stand on business with integrity, right? Change.
Yeah.
Change is coming. We're gonna look to change laws. We're gonna talk about Mo safety law coming up on Wednesday. I got Josh Nelson is gonna be with me on there, and the last one is excellence. I'm your voice, and to be doing this with you two, who know everybody in Erie, everybody knows me as well, and I'm down here in Tampa. Collectively, there's no reason why we cannot be a successful group, not only just still fighting for justice for Cello, but for anyone that we see that needs justice, we are there. You
That's
call
right.
on your voice. Am I right, fellas?
That's
That's
right.
right. That's
That's
right.
right.
We're not in the business of just fighting for what's going on in our city. Anybody who need help, we gonna come and help.
Yeah.
We are going to help.
And we, as a part of our logo, we got, you see the state of Pennsylvania, you know. So when you're called upon to do God's work, you just have to be ready. You know,
That's right.
activism chooses us. We don't choose it; it chooses
Hmm.
us. And you know what? Unfortunately, happened to our cousin. Kind of moved some things and got us directly involved. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
we formulated this group, man, and I'm proud to say that I'm rolling with you two, and I am excited uh, to force change now and in the future. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yeah.
That's right.
Um, what is it? We talk about change. What is it that we want to change? What in Erie that you guys can think of offhand
No,
needs changed?
if I can go first,
Yeah,
change has to start with us first. We as
yeah,
a people, we have to make a change. There's too many beefs amongst each other in the streets, out of the streets. We got gangs in the streets. We killing each other. We shooting each other, and we're making it easy. We sitting. I guarantee you, not all cops are racist, but I guarantee you got the racist cops sitting back saying, "Boy, they make our job easier. They just killing each other off." Even
yeah,
people that's Ku Klux Klan members or any of these white supremacist groups, they sit back and they like to see things like that. In order to make a change, you have to start within yourself. Once you start within yourself, people will notice that change within you. You then can be an influence to others. Those
yeah,
others will see it and they will seek about going about a change for themselves as well. But let's understand this: change does not take place and does not happen overnight. It takes a while, it takes maturity. So, we as a people, let's start with us and make a change. Let's change on the inside so it can shine outward. And
yeah,
that way, we can start building with each other. We can start conversations with each other. We can start being able to agree to disagree without a problem.
yeah.
That's where the change starts.
Terry.
Yes. I say, even how we treat our law enforcement officers,
Mm-hmm.
we can't just every time we see a police officer attack them.
Yeah,
We're attacking them, but then you want help from them when something happens. We can't attack them. What is their thing? They're fighting crime or whatever. We can't always attack the police. You know, we had people going at the police. It wasn't the police that did this. It
mm-hmm.
was a state
Mm-hmm.
parole that officer that did that.
That's
You know,
true.
and I felt and I stood up. I stood up and told them, I like, listen, we going, y'all going at the wrong people. Don't
Yeah,
attack the police. It's not the police. So we start change with let's build some relationships.
yeah,
Let's start inviting them to do things. And I ain't talking about building relationships where you in the street and you build a relationship with a cop just to get off a case. And you know what I mean by that?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
not the relationship I'm talking about. I'm talking about start legit relationships with these cops so they can see things from our point of view. Let's have a sit down with them. You know, let's invite them to things. Let's go see them. Let's check on their well-being. How y'all
yeah,
doing down here? Or I
yeah,
know this job is big. You know, let's build relationships. You know, and as far as us, we got to quit being competitive amongst one another. You
mm-hmm.
know, we build relationships with the law enforcement, with the prisons, and we'll get treated differently and equally.
Yeah.
Let me say this. When I say we bring about change, we start with ourselves, start in our households as well. Let's
Mm,
stop telling our children that people that are in authoritative positions and figures are bad. Let's stop teaching our children that the police are bad. All police aren't bad. Let's
Nope.
stop talking about the police and complaining when we don't have people that look like y'all and look like me applying to be police officers. If we get more African Americans, any other minorities of in this country, in this city to apply and become officers, there can be a change
That's
because then
right.
they won't be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And
Hmm.
then if you are an officer on the police force and you see another officer doing wrong, be a man and stand up and tell that officer, stand down. Stop doing what you're doing. That's wrong. But
Yeah.
that
Right.
change has to come within us and within our household. Let's encourage our children to become firefighters, doctors,
Yeah.
lawyers, judges, district attorneys. They're making money doing it. But instead, we teach our children, oh, if you talk to the police, you a rat.
Yeah.
That word rat has been used so much, people don't even know what they using it for.
Right.
Teach our children the right way. Don't teach them the wrong way. It's just like racism and prejudice. That is taught and that is a learned behavior. No one is born prejudiced. No one is born racist. It is
Right.
taught. It is
Yeah.
learned. Our
Right.
children see what we do. They listen to what we talk about. And once that happens, that is groomed into them. And then
Hmm.
they grow up having the same kind of ways that we have. It's
Yeah.
time for a change, black people.
Yeah.
We got to
Hmm.
be better. We got to do better. Let's
Yeah.
start loving one another. Most importantly, let's respect one another. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Hey,
do that.
I got to tell y'all what too. I've my wife will tell you this. My two oldest boys, Dante and Jordan, will tell you this as well. Um, some years ago, I stopped using the N word.
Mm.
I stopped using the N word. I just I know we took the word, we took the power out of the word, we use it like brother, we use it in slang and stuff. But I had these two young soldiers growing up, and now I got Craig Jr. growing up, and I don't, and they're grown men, they can use the language that they choose, but
Right.
I wanted to be that example to them, um, that that word, to be honest, still bothers me, right?
Yeah.
Because I think about our ancestors. I think about my grandfather and what he went through being called that name down in Shibuya, Mississippi, years ago, and I think that plays a little role in how we treat other black people. You know what I mean? We got to
Right.
start in the household. We got to raise our kids right. But that other black person is not my enemy.
At
And
all.
if you already are starting with a hatred word, words that people would die hearing their last word, um, that could be part of the problem. I eliminated that from my vocabulary some years ago, and I don't know, that might not be a popular thing to say to people right now. I don't you know I don't give a damn if you like it or not. Let me just put
Hmm.
it out there. This is my thoughts. This is my opinion. And if you behind me with this, cool. If not, you grown man, you grown woman, use your own language. I'm just saying that it's got to start within the household, like Jerry said, and that's where I started with, because I didn't want my young soldiers to grow up and see their father using that particular type of language on another black person. That's just my impression, and we need to get back to old school raising our kids.
That's
Right?
right.
The government done stole that from us.
That's
How do
right.
we
Yep.
how do we get back to that, fellas?
Let me start with this, Craig, as far as the N word. And I'm gonna be blunt with it. Many times in the schools with students and staff and people of a other race, white people, they'll say it's a difference with saying nigga and with the nigger.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no difference.
right,
What happened was that word was a derogatory and dirty title that they gave black slaves. And people down south back then had a different way of talking. So that
Right.
some people said niggers, then they said the niggers, then it became niggas.
yeah,
Words change over years, over centuries. It all means the same thing. So
yeah,
I don't care, and I don't care to hear your excuse of, oh, I wasn't meaning it racist because I said it with the A. You
right,
said it.
right,
You
Right.
said it. And
yeah,
as far
Right.
as us bringing about change within our homes, OCY, Children's Services, the state, these different governments have taken our rights away from us to
Yeah,
be parents. The Bible says, spare not the rod or you'll spoil the child.
that's right.
So what happens is job security. Let's take away their rights doing them as parents. They already say black people, we act like animals. We don't raise our children. So we'll make it worse. They can't discipline their children. Guess what? The children go to school acting a fool. The
Yep,
teachers can't discipline them now. The
yep.
principals can't discipline them now. So they ain't scared of the parents. They ain't scared of the teachers. They ain't scared of the principals. And then guess what? They
Mm-hmm.
disrespecting police officers. They ain't
Mm-hmm.
scared of the police officers. They ain't
Nope.
scared of a judge.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden, what do they always do when they get in trouble? Then they want to run to different churches and different pastors for prayer. And we can't blame the children. We got to blame the system because they took that power away from us. Because when you take the power away from us and it's not in our house, guess who controls them when they get in trouble? They're in the
Mm-hmm.
juvenile justice system. They're in the adult prison system. That
Yep.
gives probation officers, police officers, judges, lawyers, correction officers, corrections counselors, drug and alcohol counselors. That gives them all jobs.
Yeah.
That's job security.
Mm.
So you tell me, how do we bring about a change when they try to strip the power from us to discipline and raise our own? They rather them raise our own where they get paid. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you paying your tax dollars for your child to be locked up in the prison. A lot of you adults don't know this in the state of Pennsylvania. If your child get locked up as a juvenile,
You paying
not in
child
the
support.
adult prison, but if your child is a minor and gets locked up in a juvenile system,
You paying child
juvenile
support.
lockup, you
Mm.
are now going to pay child support for your own
Mm.
child. I encourage
Mm.
you parents to send your children to school because truancy is no joke because
No.
you pay that fine. And then after a while, the parents get locked up. Then
Mm.
usually when a kid is not in school and there's no structure, that's when they're getting in trouble. Then
Mm.
you're going to want to blame the system. No, don't blame the system. Some things you can override that system. Let's start by teaching them. Go get an education. You
Yes.
get that education, you can join Deontay Cooley on bag talk. You can learn what he means by bag talk. He ain't
Mm.
talking about going to get that bag on the street. This is legal money. This is
Yes.
empire money amongst the black community we trying to get. Lift each other up. Let's put discipline back in our homes, black people.
Yep. Yep.
And
We
it's not just the jail system
yeah.
that's interfering with the homes. You see how they did it with the welfare system and the
Yeah.
housing authority. What did they do? Let's strip the homes. The black man can't be in. You can't young African American woman. You can't get welfare or housing if a black man is in that home with you.
Yep.
We can make changes with that. You know what I
Yep.
mean? We can
Yep.
make changes with it. Let's start standing up for ourselves in the community. Then they just make a lie and say somebody just put the windows out at the state parole office. Now
Yes.
we didn't had how many marches down there?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no violence,
No issues.
nothing done to their cars, nothing done to the windows. Now all of a sudden, Kevin Sillinger is in prison. They want to
Yeah.
make it look like they're being attacked.
And
Well,
it's major cameras over there, so we know that's a lie. They could have seen it.
yeah,
But back to what you said, Terry, about the system. A lot of people, if you go back and do your homework, when welfare first came about,
Yeah.
they told families, and this is how they knew what they were doing. They were breaking up families. There were people that were married. Husbands had to leave their families in order for their families to be able to get welfare to survive.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. That's
Yeah.
real talk. They've
Yeah.
always targeted black people. They've always wanted to split us up. Our city can't even see that. Stop the division. Let's unite.
Yeah.
You don't have to be under I'm your voice. You don't have to be under any other entity. I'm not putting no other names out there. We can all fight together for the same cause.
Mhm.
Let's unify. Let's respect one another. Let's love one another.
And so there's really two areas out of everything we're talking about that we could insert ourselves in. We have to somehow come up with a plan to be able to change the system. If we are able to start to change the system, then that would allow us to be able to change how parents parent at home, which would then change the attitudes of the kids when they're in school and with authority figures. So it's going all around in a circle here. We have to do something. We really, really have to do something because the system is um, controlling our children, going to jail and keeping them in jail by us not being able to parent these kids the way that we used to be, the way that we were parented. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is not right. I wanted to say another point too. You talked about the derivatives, the different ways of saying the N word, right? You talked about different ways. So the thing that got me some 15 years ago when I kind of made a stand about this is because white people, cool white people, and y'all know what I'm talking about, cool white people that hang with us started to get comfortable enough to
Yeah.
start using that word.
Right.
No, you can't use that word. But then again, why should we be using that word? And then
Right.
you got these kids in school, and I know you guys being in the school system hear it all the time. You got these white kids saying the
Yep.
N word
I'm
like
seeing it
they're
all over social media when they fight and
man.
all.
I,
Wow.
I don't understand it. I don't
Wow.
like those were fighting words back in the day, but now it's it don't mean nothing. It's cool and this and that. No, it's not cool. So
Yeah.
there's some change that we can still control, and there's some things
Right.
that we can still do because they have no idea the history of our ancestors back in the 1920s and what they went through. You know, I heard the stories that my grandfather talked about walking the dark streets, no street lights in Shibuya, Mississippi, just to go 5 miles to go court my grandmother. And I mean, I could go on and on with some stories here, but
Yeah.
it's just it's not cool in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we
Right.
can control the things that we can control. The things we can't, we can't. We have to live by those. But I think we should take control of the things that we do have control over and change them now. Right?
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Let's you talked about we talking about the racism in this N word. Black people have been hated so much that there's racism within races. You have
Yes.
white people who are cool with black people. White people have labeled white people that are cool with black people or have taken
Yes.
on black ways, they labeled them wiggers.
Yes.
Very ignorant to even do that. So whoever
Absolutely.
invented that word, whoever's using that word as well, very ignorant. You know,
Yep.
when I say racism within a race, it used
Yep.
to be back in the days, you hear a lot of white people say, ooh, the fine girls is the blonde hair, blue eyes. And within our black race, it was always the light skinned girls with long hair.
Yep.
Listen here, man. You get with a person that is beautiful. Everybody is beautiful. We got to
Right.
stop the racism within our own races. Whether
Absolutely.
Hmm.
you're dark skinned, light skinned, guess what? At the end of the day, we all bleed red.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all leaving this earth the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So get used to it, people. We here together. I know
Yeah.
it ain't gonna be no perfect world. Everybody not gonna get along, but we gotta do better.
Yeah.
Stop with these acronyms, stop with these stereotypes, stop with these labels and titles that are all of negative sense. We don't
Yeah.
need it. It only makes things worse. It's
Yeah.
infecting the wound that's been here for ages and centuries.
Yeah.
We got the
Um.
word excellence. We got the word excellence
Yeah.
in there. And we talk about change, but let's do this excellence thing real quick. If you
Mm-hmm.
go back to our ancestors, we invented everything pretty much, right? Black
Mm-hmm.
excellence. So
Mm-hmm.
now we have every avenue. We got internet, chat, GBT, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's put this into our kids, even the adults. Black excellence still exists. We can come up with ways of solving laws or anything. There's all type of avenues. Excellence. We'll sit here. That's what we're here for. We'll help y'all become excellent.
Yeah.
We'll help y'all make change. Excellence. We can help y'all with your academics. We can help y'all get into college.
Yeah.
My brother's has helped several athletes who's not even from the school he coached at get into college. We can help, whether it's academic or sports, as far as change. We can help y'all change. Just because things happen, it doesn't mean it has to continue.
Yeah.
We can change all of this, man. And I
Absolutely.
see it coming too right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the right thing, fellas, man. I'm like I said, I'm glad I'm rolling with y'all, and I'm your voice. This is the best thing that could have happened to us, and everything that we're talking about, we're going to be putting in place, man. And I want to share something that I got. Like you, we always go through and pull something out of an experience, and it just kind of dawned on me now to talk about it 2 months later. But um, at the preliminary hearing for Kevin Seelinger, where I was with you guys, Terry, you sat right next to me. Jerry, you were right behind me. Cousin Sonny was right to my left, and we're soaking this whole thing in and listening, and I'm asking you guys procedurally, like what's going to happen next, and what does this mean, and you guys are schooling me, man, and after the charges were bound over for trial, and the court hearing is done, and they take Seelinger out of there really quickly, who was actually with another one of our cousins. Uh, um, and I'm on the way out, and the detective that I believe he's a corporal testified on top of all of the other deputies downstairs. Like, these people were pulling for us. These
Yes, they were.
people were pulling for us,
Still
and
is.
they were saying some great things. Number one, they immediately disassociated themselves with the shooting. That's number one. It was not the Erie City Police, right?
Nope.
But they came to our rescue and testified, right? I shook both of their hands, both of them that testified during the preliminary hearing, and you can see it on their face. So when we talk about building that relationship, you got to take some of these positive experiences that we've had in our interactions with these people and share these interactions with our children so that they know that there's some time in your life that you could be called upon to make a difference in somebody else's life. And law enforcement officer is an honorable position. We,
Yeah.
we get away from talking about becoming a police officer because we've had issues as black people for years with police officers.
Yeah.
But the same thing in law enforcement, and then I'm gonna let you guys talk about this because I know you got a lot to talk about. The same thing with law enforcement is the same thing with every other profession out there. In every single profession, you got a good bunch of apples and a bad bunch of apples. It is no difference. It is just on a different level because these guys have a gun and
Yeah.
they control whether you live or whether you die. So we want to have a minimal amount to none, obviously,
Right.
of the bad apples in that particular section. But we got to take the positive interactions that we get with law enforcement, pass that on to our kids, and then try to glorify all of these positions so that they have something to aspire to when they get older, right?
Right.
So, talking about law enforcement and representation, um, the last I saw when I did some research, this was back in 2020. It could be different now. Um, there were 6 African American police officers on the Erie Police Department.
Mhm.
5 males, 1 female.
Mhm.
Um, those 6 create 1% of the Erie Police Department. How do we get more representation for people that look like us to work in that particular profession so that our kids have somebody else to look up to?
First
We
of all,
gotta.
big shout out to the ones that are on the force. Um, I'm not saying this as a to knock them down, but we discussed this. Me and Malcolm and us discussed this before. The African American officers in the Erie Police Department, really nobody knows them because they aren't from where we from. They haven't been seen in those areas where we grew up. So I think we need people that live in the rough neighborhoods and whatever hood you from. We need people from those hoods directly to start taking those jobs. Once people see that, there then becomes, and that's an encouragement to others. That's the influence. Um, I don't want to say they aren't black, because they are. It's just, if you haven't been through what if it's all if you can't tell me about me or what I've been through unless you've been through it with me or seen me go through it. That's the person I would trust that looks like me to become a police officer.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We
true.
what we got to do also is we're the elders now. I ain't gonna say
Yeah,
my age, but we gotta preach to these kids it's okay to be a police officer.
yeah,
We got even though they see a lot on social media, cops beating people or killing somebody, we gotta implement to them. Listen, you don't like what you seeing, it's okay to be a police officer.
hmm
It's okay to be a state trooper. It's okay to be a parole probation officer. It's okay to be a federal agent. You know, we got to make sure so let them know it's okay. That brings about change,
yeah,
and we need to find a way to get people from the federal government, the city police, the state police, to start doing something with the inner city
yeah.
and letting them know it's okay. And we have minorities that's working for each one of these organizations that I just named that can come in. And matter of fact, that's what we'll do. I'm your voice. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
We'll make it to where we get some inner city stuff going on. So that's another
Well,
chapter. You know.
and look at this. Like Brother Victor said last week, we make up 15.4. We as African Americans make up 15.4% of the Erie population, right, in the
Right.
city. But in the school district, the Erie School District, we make up 66%.
Mm,
How odd is that, right? We make
mm,
up 66% in the school district, but yet we are only 15.4% of the entire population in Erie, Pennsylvania. So when we talk about aspirations, well, there's a big pool to look at right in the school district. We got to reach out to these young men and young women and try to give them some positive influence when it comes down to not just law enforcement, but attorneys and doctors and lawyers and all of these other professions. And, you know, most young kids in the inner city, including myself, I know you guys were the same way. We aspired to be athletes. We were athletes. We wanted to make it to the top level. I remember specifically after we didn't make it to the first level there in the NFL, and then the Cleveland Browns were coming back. We all were working out to try to make the team.
Right.
That's
yep.
something that we wanted to do. Who would not
Yep.
want to do that? Because
Right.
money talks, and it's glorious, and you know, and what we do as black people, when we do make it, we buy physical things to show that we made it because
Mhm.
we're proud that we made it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But
At
a
all.
lot of those athletes need to be taught how to manage their money and
Mm,
manage their credit and things like
yep.
that. And we can touch these kids right now. This 66% that I'm talking about, we can touch them right now by certain things that we're doing. And I'm Your Voice is the perfect organization to have that effect on these
That's right.
people. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
I'm really excited that we have formed this group, and there's a lot of work to do. We got to take back parenting. We got to work on changing the system. We have to make sure that our kids know that law enforcement, they're there to protect and serve us. Um, but something's got to give on their end as well. And that brings me to the next topic, which is systemic racism. When when will the government admit and realize that systemic racism exists? There's differences between how people treat other people, because if they don't admit it, they can't change it, right?
right. Right.
They,
I,
I think they won't. They will never admit it because of
Mm-hmm.
there's so much power within the government. There's so much money with a lot of people up top. A lot of people say the majority of people that are rich in America have done something crooked to get to the level that they are now. That is hard for people to give away or put away that much power to a race that's have been of lesser value for centuries, millenniums.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish that they would recognize it and say it, which we have some people saying it, but we don't have enough. We don't have the people that are in position saying it. If we have the people in position saying it, then something can be done about it.
Right.
Can you imagine if Donald Trump did his address on live TV just to
State of
say
the
that there
Union.
is systematic racism? Can
Hmm.
you imagine if people of different levels of the government took
Yeah.
time out of their day and put it on social media or went on live TV and said there's systematic racism? They
Yeah.
won't say it. They
Yeah.
might get death threats. Something might even happen to them because they're doing the right thing. This country was built off of the wrong thing, but it hasn't been changed to the right thing yet
Yeah.
because of the power and the money.
Here's an example of what we need to start doing. There's people who of the Black American, African American, however you want to say that. We
Mm-hmm.
got family members that's in county prison and some downstate and some in a federal prison.
Yeah.
We'll let the system sentence our family. Okay, he got this. But we're not doing the footwork of getting in the libraries and looking at the same exact situation from another race. So they'll
Mm-hmm.
give us 20 years for something, and then you'll have a Caucasian person with the same crime,
Yes.
and they getting 5 years or whatever. So we need to start doing. A lawyer ain't gonna do it because they only do it if they're getting paid. But
Yeah.
we need to stop being lazy and start getting in these libraries and start
Yeah.
cracking some of these laws to help our loved ones out. They always said, if you don't want a black person to know something, where do you put it? In a
In
Put
a
it
book,
in the
book.
book.
you know.
That's it.
So
Crime similarity. I mean, that's huge in these law libraries. You're 100% right. You know, I had a couple classes that dealt with that, and you look up case law all the time, and if you can find a couple cases that are similar, um, that is easy to file a motion and bring that to a judge and show them that there was an unjust cause and decision made in this particular case. When if you look at these three cases, they did the same exact thing, but these three gentlemen were white and this gentleman's black. They got 4 to 6 years, and he got 15 to 18. So no, you're absolutely right, Terry, um, and we're getting deep because these things they have to be talked about. We do know that the system is unjust. You know, our next step here going towards trying to fight for justice for Cello is, well, what's next? Well, trial's coming up in October. The first thing they have to do before they have a trial is a jury duty. You know, they gotta have jury duty. They gotta pull and find a jury. And um, I already said 15.4% in the city of Erie is African American. That's not a lot to pull from, but I want to encourage everybody, if you're getting a jury summons sometime soon, please open it and
yes,
please read it, because
yes,
you may be called upon, and they don't tell you what case you're getting when you get this summons. And I will speak about this. I received a jury summons in the mail, and I had to appear down here in Tampa at the Hillsborough County Courthouse. And so I'm like, okay, I wonder what this is going to be about, you know. And I'm like, maybe I can get out of it. You know, everyone thinks the same thing. You know what I mean? But that is one of the highest civil duties that you can do. You know, and so I went, and I was picked, and it happened to be I was on the grand jury that I was picked, that lasted 6 months. I wasn't sequestered, but it lasted for 6 months. So anytime there was first murder charges, I was called upon with the other grand jurors, and we had to listen to the state and make a decision of whether or not the state had enough evidence to indict. And when I tell you guys, we saw all types of forensics and pictures and stories. I could be riding around Tampa right now, and there's spots and areas that I know that somebody lost their life right there. You know what I mean? So I did my duty, and I did the right thing, and I encourage everybody else to do so, because you could get picked to be a deciding juror on this case with Kevin Seelinger. And we need everybody to do their jobs, man.
That's
We
right.
really do. You know. Anything else, fellows, about that we're talking about?
I suggest that even now and in the
Hmm.
future, do jury duty. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's for a simple case of somebody stealing a candy bar. Do jury duty, because when we just got through talking about the system being unjust,
Yeah.
you can help it. You can help stop the unjust.
Right.
So do the jury duty, y'all.
And we, of course, we've talked about what our people went through in
Yeah,
order to give us the ability to have the right to vote. So
that's right.
let's go back in history, fellas. Right. So Emmett Till was murdered down in Mississippi. Lived in Chicago. He was a little kid. He was murdered, and he had an all-white jury. Why were all the juries all white down there? They were all white because in order to serve on the jury, you have to be registered to vote. And black
That's right.
people couldn't vote back then. So
Hmm.
Right.
we have the right to vote. They fought for this. They fought
That's
for
right.
our right to vote. We need everybody to register to vote. So coming up, towards election and whatever, we have to do a push to get people registered to
That's
vote.
right.
Don't matter what you register, what side. I don't care what side.
Right.
Just register to vote, because
Eh,
that is the way that you put your name in the pool in order to get a jury duty summons. Right?
I
Right?
even
Right? Right?
think some things have changed with that as well. They used
Mm-hmm.
to say if you was a felon, you couldn't vote. But I think
Yes.
they've stopped that. I think if you're a felon, I'm pretty sure I'm 100% right on this. If you're a felon, you're allowed to vote. All right.
Well, Donald Trump voted, so so I think you're right, bro. I think you're right. Oh man, twins. How excited are you guys to be on this journey with I'm Your Voice, Jerry? How excited are you?
I'm very excited. Just the fact that I know that I have a voice to be heard, a voice to bring about change and awareness, a voice to be encouraging to others, that brings about excitement because I check that page every day. I
Yeah,
try to put positive things out there every day, and I, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's get this thing moving. A lot of times we talk about things, but we don't put the plan in motion, and we've
yeah,
already done that. So if you want to ride with us, you can ride with us. If you want to fight alongside of us, fight alongside of us. Just don't
yeah,
fight with us. Don't fight against us. And I want to say this: big shout out to Malachi Woodard. This
yeah,
young man is enduring a lot, making it through college. His sister as well, graduating high school in major. That young man is going to need us. A
yeah.
big shot. My hat goes off. Salute to Shatira Franklin.
Mhm.
She knows what it is to lose a parent. She lost her father at a young age. She's now doing this, and it is just as much as hard on the children. It's hard on her. So let's remember them all in our prayers. We don't want to be on out here disrespecting people. Like I said, there was a lot of misunderstandings. There was a lot of false narratives put out there, a lot of lies. But we're telling you right now, we are here for the one cause, and that is to bring justice, so that Kevin Seelinger is locked up.
Mhm.
We're here. We got y'all back, and we hope y'all got our back.
Yeah.
Look us up. Ain't an
Yeah.
LLC attached to this. It's not a nonprofit. This is independent, you
Yeah.
know. So and we have females that are helping us. Big shout out to Michelle Dovershaw. She
Yeah.
another one that she get in the middle of it and mix it. She ain't
Yeah.
afraid to approach. She ain't afraid to speak. She's a very powerful speaker. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Big shout out. You know, everybody knows Deontay Cooley. Everybody know Malcolm. Anybody that ever voiced this and fought alongside with us, Man, my
Sarah
hat go
Bridget.
off to you, Sarah Bridget. Bridget,
Yeah.
yeah, big shout out to her.
Hmm.
If I'm missing any names, please excuse me, please forgive me. I don't mean any harm by that, but I'm excited. Let's keep it going. Let's
Uh,
respect Malachi's wishes. That man has the right to feel the way he's feeling. He's grieving.
Yeah.
He's 21. Legally, he's an adult, but he's not as mature as a lot of other people involved in this. So once again, I love you. I love everybody involved. I love my family. Let's keep this thing going. Keep it positive. If it ain't positive, I don't want to be around to stay away from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited about it, and I want everybody to know this is not just a black thing.
That's
We're
Right.
right.
not in this just for the blacks. We're in this for every race. You
Hmm.
understand? And I
Hmm.
want y'all to know, whoever's watching, you cannot split us up. We're
Nah.
family. You tried and you failed. You
Yeah.
tried and you failed. And I'm saying you because you know who you are.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to help all races out, all ages. So let's do it, man.
Yo, I could not be more excited and more honored to be fighting alongside two of my favorite cousins, man. We grew up together, man. I love y'all. Love you
Love
to
you
death.
too, man.
Love you
It
too,
was,
man.
I had, hey, man, I felt some type of way when I read that text, man. And I'm like, look, it- it's just, it was the devil, man. It was the devil.
Yeah.
And he was not going to win that day. And that's what brings us together on I'm Your Voice. And I appreciate you both joining me tonight, man. This was a wonderful discussion. I have you both on again. This is the first time I had you both on at the same time. I've had
Yeah.
you both on separately, but this was good. This is a good conversation.
Right.
We throw some topics out there, man, and we'll go forever. We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes right now, and we're competing against the Oscars. Forget the Oscars. We're the Oscars, y'all. You gotta watch us. I'm Your Voice, right?
now.
That's
Forget
right.
that, man. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll continue to talk. We're getting close to 500 members. Hopefully, we picked up a few more after the show. I appreciate everybody. I want you all to stay tuned. Make sure you follow Etcetera with the Woodards. Make sure you follow I'm Your Voice. Make sure you follow Terry Roberts, Jerry Roberts, and Craig Woodard Sr. on Facebook, because we are here to stay and we're going to do some big things, and we want you all to be a part of it, okay? And stay tuned to Etcetera with the Woodards at 8 o'clock this Wednesday, as I will have Erie Police Officer Josh Nelson joining me while we dig into the Mo safety law, amongst many other things, okay? We will see you guys later on. I appreciate you. For Jerry Roberts, for Terry Roberts, I'm Craig Woodard. Thank you for watching Etcetera with the Woodards.